Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bonus Points podcast. As always, I'm your host, Joe Garrett, being joined by Ollie Guy.
Hello.
And today, we are very lucky because we have a very special guest, Jimmy, a.k.a. Solidarity. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, the Bonus Points, we're here.
Hey, welcome.
It's been a long time coming.
You've finally made it on. So there's a few reasons why I wanted you on the podcast, Jimmy. One, just because I wanted you on anyway. But also because every time we meet up in person, you always just kind of come up to me and just go, "Hey, bonus points," and just say, you just say bonus points at me.
I love it. I love what you guys do. I feel like everyone kind of wants to do this. Grab a friend, talk about games. Like, what's more to it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it, and I think you guys are doing a good thing. So
No one's stopping you, Jimmy. I'm free 13 days a week. 13 days out of this 2 week slot we do, I'm free. So
if mine becomes bigger, you're gonna have to leave. You're gonna have to leave Joe. You're gonna have to.
Okay, let's cut this one short here before I lose my partner. No, but what you said is exactly like the motivation for like starting the podcast. Was like, we're always playing games and chatting about them anyway. Like, someone else might be interested, and it's just more fun when you're kind of chatting in this format, and because then other people will comment and like add their opinions as well.
Yeah, absolutely love it. That's why I wanted to come on.
But you did, and then you did send a bit of a curveball of a game selection for us. So do you want to say what you chose?
Yeah. Well, you sent me a message and you said, "What game would you like to talk about and stuff?" And I feel like for anyone, maybe it's just me, someone says that to you and you go, I don't know. Like, you're kind of like, there's so many games running through your head and you don't know what is your best game that you want to talk about. Do you know what? My other option, which you've already done, was The Last of Us Part 1. That is the unreal game. I feel like for its time, it was just unreal.
Oh, well, let's forget World of Warcraft. We just played it. We'll do that again. I got more to talk about.
World of Warcraft was my game. I've picked this game, though, because it's been consistent through my life for like since I don't even know when it came out in like 2004.
It came out in 2004. It did indeed.
See, I even know the date. 2004. It came out. 2020.
So wait, let's age you, Jimmy. How old was young Jimmy when he started his venture?
I was 8. And I feel like
you were playing World of Warcraft.
I feel like I was like 9 or 10, maybe a year into the game.
Okay.
And now it's 2022, so the game's been out for
18 years.
18 years.
18
Crazy.
years.
And I had to pick it because, you know, it's the most consistent game, like I said.
No, I'm definitely glad you did, because we're trying to like expand all the different genres we play, and like I don't think MMO was likely to come up otherwise. And if we're going to do an MMO, this is the one. This is the big daddy, the one to do.
I bet you heard me go it. And you're like, no, any other game, please.
Well, it's cool because we had just done Warcraft 2 like not that long ago, like the real-time strategy game. So it's kind of cool that we're doing the game that most people think of. So did you want to kind of set up, just for people that don't know much about it, what Warcraft is, Ollie? I know you've done a bit of research and just kind of the background of it.
I'm also going to apologise up front for seagull noise. If it's in, it's in.
Worry.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't worry.
Okay. So World of Warcraft, or it's abbreviated to WoW. So if we say WoW, that's what we're talking about, guys.
It is,
Massively multiplayer online role-playing game released in 2004 by Blizzard Entertainment. Set in the Warcraft fantasy universe, World of Warcraft takes place within the world of Azeroth, approximately 4 years after the events of the previous game in the series, Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne. There you go. And it's
Crazy.
it came out in 2004 and it's on PC only. Oh, and Mac.
Yeah. So it was. I feel like why it was so big when it came out was because around it wasn't there wasn't much. Do you remember Guild Wars 2? Like Guild Wars? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I remember hearing about it.
Guild
I've never
Wars.
played
There
it.
was another game called Eve or something.
Oh,
like
Eve
that.
Online. Yeah, that's like
Eve
the
Online.
space one, right?
EverQuest as well, right?
EverQuest, yeah. And they were the only games around, and they were quite like simplistic. And then WoW came out, and everyone was like, "Okay, sorry."
Everyone was like, "Wow!"
Everyone was like, "Wow!"
They were
Yeah,
like, "Wow!" They want people to say "Wow," and they were like, "Wow," because they were just so far ahead of any other like MMO, and that's why it became at that time what it became. Do you know what I mean?
So did you have friends that played it first, and then they got you into it, or did you just like see it on like a box on a shelf in a shop?
It was my dad. My dad is a huge gamer. Like he's always gaming, and he got WoW and he played it, And then he was like, maybe you should have a go. And we used to have a computer in our dining room, and we used to literally share. We had an hour each to play WoW, and we had to jump off because I have two brothers as well. They all played. My mum was like, "What are you doing? This is mental." So we'd all have
cafe in the dining room.
We'd literally have an hour each, and we'd time it. We'd literally have timers. As soon as your hour was done, didn't even have to like time to complete the quest or anything. You got off. Next brother logged into their character, boom, and it was just rotation every day, and that's how we did it.
You all had different characters then.
All had different characters, and just we on rotation. Just
did you need to have a subscription each?
No, it was just one account.
Okay, I was going to say because that's going to get like more than the electricity bill, which is probably quite high in itself, sounding by your constant computer running.
So it was one subscription between us, and then I think one of the years, my oldest brother got a computer, and he was like, right, I'm going to get my own account now. So that was it. So there was me and my middle brother was still on my dad's PC. And then we got PCs and we got our own accounts. Yeah. So the electricity was going through the roof at that point. And there's 4 PCs all playing. So
you don't still have the same character from when you were a kid?
I do.
You do?
Yeah. I do. I'm pretty sure it's the same one. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
I don't know if you can go back to the date it was created. I'm not too sure.
So do you have several characters you jump between?
Yeah. Well, I feel like as soon as you get to like max and then you get a little bit bored, you kind of like... You have things in WoW called alts. You heard of alts?
Is that like an ultimate? Like a...
No,
an alt account.
I love this.
We are complete noobs.
So you have your main. You have your main character, which you invest everything into. You love playing. You love playing that much, and then your alts are like the other characters that you.
I can kind of relate a little bit because I've kind of done similar things for like other games. Like say like Dark Souls or something. I'll have like my main one is just the sword one, but then I'll experiment with like a magic one, but might not commit fully into doing that. Yeah. I feel like this is a great time to kind of point out that for me and Ollie, we've only dipped our toe in. So we played for like a week and a half. We both reached level 20, which is the limit that you can do in a free trial. But like that's not like we've peeked through the door of the World of Warcraft nightclub, but we haven't started dancing yet. So any of our opinions, like we realize that we're not like, there's stuff that we don't understand and, are missing about the game.
You've played it now, which at this current moment, WoW's not really in a great place.
Okay.
But, like it's been going like downhill for like a few years, but every expansion they try to bring it back up and stuff. But right at the start, 2004, like the early expansions, all the way up to like 2010 when the third expansion came out, it was like the best game ever. It was incredible. It was amazing.
Was the game better, or was it like happy nostalgia memories and we had lower standards back then? Like what's actually worse mechanically about the game compared to back then?
I feel like the game now has too many like systems and stuff which people get lost in, and they just don't. I don't know. They get a bit lost, and they you have to keep coming back and doing the same thing and whatnot. I think nostalgia is in it. Like, back then gaming was just, you'd think of a game, you're like, that's the best thing ever, and then you go back to it and you're like, this is absolute trash. Why did I like this? Like,
I looked,
but it is a fact.
I looked into it, and like the newest expansion added like 6 currencies, and like so every expansion they're doing stuff like that, and it's just getting like crazy complicated. And like they changed how the skill trees work in like one of the expansions. So like if you played up till then and you had your characters spec'd a certain way, as soon as you upgraded, I think it was like 2009, that just went, and you had to start. You didn't have to start again, but you had to respec like all your points again. It was all done differently, and that's when they released World of Warcraft Classic to be like, if you did like the old way, it's still available.
And that did do well when it came out. They're about to do the final classic expansion. Like I said, the World of Warcraft 1, the Burning Crusade, the Wrath of the Lich King. Those were the main classic 3, where life was good. And they've released them in classic, and the third one's about to come out, and it actually did really well. But there is like a sense of, you said, nostalgia. People went back and they were like, this is awful. Like, why did anyone like this? So yeah, like Ollie said, they add so much stuff like the 6 currencies, but they do this horrible trait, which other games probably do, where when they go to the next expansion, they go, we don't care about any of that now. It doesn't matter
They're
anymore.
all self-contained bubbles rather than just adding to the world.
You've spent all that time doing that, and it doesn't really matter anymore. That's their horrible trait that they need to kind of get out.
I feel like that's just video games. You spent all that time doing it, but it doesn't matter.
yeah. Well, it literally is that.
A video I watched earlier on was like saying that they're kind of like sequels to games, and it's like you don't need to play the previous one to play the newest one, because the game will like push you up to where you want to be. So I watched like a video of saying, is Warcraft worth playing in 2022? And they said like, just buy the newest expansion. Don't worry about the old ones, because we'll boost you far enough that, you know, you'll be
You can
fine.
see why from their end, from a business side, they don't want to limit people that can jump in. You know, they want to make as wide a net as possible. So Ollie, for you, jumping in, having never played this before, like how did you find like the on-ramp and like the tutorials? Did you kind of get a hang of the systems pretty quick?
Yeah, like by the time I got to like level 18 or something, I had a hand on everything you could do within those first 20 levels. But I know it expands so much more. The onboarding was weird. Like, they give you quests for everything. Like, go and talk to this guy, and that'll like, and it'll play like the, and you go turn and speak to them, and it's like, like, you did it.
It's like you got golden XP. That's one of the things I got a big note is I feel like the quest system is so limited. I feel like that's like, it needs such a renovation, because normally you'd have a quest and it'd be like within one quest you would have multiple steps, but anything you do to progress has to be its own quest, which could be the most minor thing, as you say, just walk to a place and it's like quest complete. It's like, no, that was like step one, and surely I'm going to do something when I get there.
It is strange like that. I'm glad that you guys dipped your toes in. But I feel like you've dipped your toes in so late. I wish we had done this 5 years in the past when it was like decent. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's lost a lot of its aspects.
We could have done it 18 years ago when we were like 12.
Right at the start.
You were 8.
Bonus points back then.
Yeah,
great.
We've done it with your whole family. You should have started like a family podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah. Or
we could get that in the works. Maybe.
It's 1 3-hour podcast, but it keeps switching who's hosting it as the hour runs out. Like,
let me write this down. Let me.
You just tag out. So
what was your experience with it, Joe?
So I was worried going in. So one of my, you might even heard me say this in my podcast. One of my worrying things in games, or the things that I don't like, is like I just don't care about loot and leveling. Like I know, I get why people like it, and in some games I kind of like it, but whatever. I don't know, endorphin gets pumped around the brain when people level up. I just don't care about. Like, I care about the story and the gameplay. And I was like, is this going to be really heavy, just only that? And in one aspect for the gameplay, like, I think that was all true. But I didn't expect to love, like, the world so much. Like, the art. Like, I just love that art style. Like, I'm so glad. Like, I thought it was going to be much more serious than it was. It's almost a comedy, really.
Yeah.
It's so like I went into found like a pet cafe, and I was like petting like a corgi and stuff, and then like mentions to modern, like you get like a selfie camera, and it's like and like you know, it's not actually a modern camera or whatever. And I was like, okay, they're not taking any of this serious at all, which I liked personally.
100%. I think that's why. Even right at the beginning, that's why a load of people loved the game, because even the way it looks, like the style, the way it looks, everyone was like, this is fun. It's like, it's new, it's nice, it's not so serious. And then, like you said, the random little funny comic-y bits, and like a lot of the quests are like quite, there's a few in there that's like really just comedy. Like it's a light-hearted MMO. Like, it's really light-hearted. So yeah, it's good. I'm glad that you kind of enjoyed it.
Kind of a carryover from the other Warcraft games though, isn't it? Like, we played Warcraft 2, and that was pretty funny as well. Like, intentionally funny. It wasn't just like, you know, it was like they knew what they were doing back then.
Yeah, and I don't know why I didn't expect them to carry that across. I think it's because anytime you see like a trailer for an expansion, or like the trailer for the film, and it's all dark and serious, and they just don't have any of that. And I'm like, no, if you like do a trailer to the tone of the game, like why pretend it has to be all serious just because it's for a trailer?
Yeah, I never watched that film. I never watched it. I haven't seen that.
It's about these four brothers or three brothers are there all playing on a computer.
No, stop! They're all playing the computer.
Oh, the old nerds down at
just by a
number
minute.
10. Oh, they must all be getting online. All the streets lights dim, like the street lights. They're all logging on.
It's the brothers. They're on.
I also 100% agree with the art style. Like, it looks so good, even though it's obviously not brand new. It still looks like amazing, and it's very appealing. And the in-game cinematics are like amazing.
Yeah,
The only thing I had with the in-game graphics is like, for some reason, everything's massive. Like, your character is so small. Like, if you walk around, now I've mentioned it, if you walk around a town, it's like, why are the doorways like 4 times the height of me? Like, just for like someone's house. Like, everything is huge in this game. But I think
feel
it's
like
because
I
people
never
play
realized that
with it super zoomed out. I can see where that must be why. Like, they don't have the scale.
And also
like,
different size races. Maybe you could be a big orc or something. I mean, I was a gnome, so everything looked big for me anyway, just because I was a gnome.
Yeah. What class were you, Joe?
I was a hunter gnome.
Nice.
So
nice.
I had my little pets and stuff.
I was a paladin, just a human. I don't know what.
Dude, that was my first character.
Yeah,
Human
he's
paladin.
cool. He looks cool.
Yeah.
Two basic. I bet you both love Soldier on Overwatch as well, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love
I
Soldier.
do actually.
Yeah,
He's got a good old.
Yeah.
Leave him alone.
Also, I did a Harry Potter house test, and I got Gryffindor, obviously.
I was Hufflepuff, but I don't like talking about that.
Okay.
Both love vanilla ice cream, perchance.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
I do like.
Of course you do, right?
Holly, we should hang out, dude.
You should hang out and paint a room beige.
As I'm sitting in a beige room.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
What colour is that bedspread there?
Oh dear. So you talk about how the game's like dropped off a little bit. So do you still play it regularly?
I played it. I don't play it really regularly. I'm kind of just waiting for the new expansion, which is at the end of this year. But as soon as an expansion comes out, we play it for there's a little group of us that we play it for like months, and then the content kind of like just dries up, like any game, I guess. Like any game like that, you kind of just get bored of the repetitiveness of it. But back then it was more regular, like, because the game was better. I don't know how to describe it. The game was better. It was good. And I feel like it came out at a time where Discord wasn't around. Like, just communicating with people was so tough. Do you know what I mean? Like, you had to go on, and you were in a guild, like a little group, and you spoke to your friends through World of Warcraft. Do you know what I mean? Not through Discord. And that's why it was so much bigger as well back then. But I don't play it as regularly now. But as soon as a new content drops, like any other game, straight back on it and playing. So waiting for Christmas now.
Quickly jump in with a question, because you almost kind of answered it then. It's from Peanut, and it's for our guest. We didn't know it was going to be you, but it's for you.
Amazing.
What is your favourite expansion, and are you looking forward to Dragonflight at the end of the year?
My favourite expansion. It's got to be Wrath of the Lich King.
I heard a lot about that. People like that one.
That is probably World of Warcraft's best expansion that they've ever released. And it's based off of the RTS game. I'm pretty sure the RTS game, Warcraft 3, the Frozen Throne. So they took the characters from that and they put it into an expansion. That's probably my favourite one. That's probably a basic answer.
What a surprise.
What a surprise. I ain't basic, I promise. But am I excited for Dragonflight? Yeah, I feel like you're just in a loop with WoW, where you just kind of like, you just wait for the next expansion, you get excited, you hope that they don't let you down, then they let you down, and it just goes up again, and then it's around and round. So,
are you subscribed right now?
Yeah, I think I've stopped my subscription like once or twice over how many years I've done it. It's just been rolling. I feel like I just forget, though. I feel like I just forget.
So how much is it a month? Can we work out how much you're
it's $9.99.
sent to Blizzard?
You can't
I can work it out right now. Hang on.
I'm pretty sure
it's been around for 18
£9
years.
a month.
Yeah.
It's £9 a month, and it's never changed, which is pretty good. It's never changed. Like, do you think of other games and
it's
stuff
never
like
come
that?
down in price as the
It's
game's
never
got
come
older.
down. But it's never gone up.
To be fair, it's only 1,944 quid.
Do you know what?
But
I'll take that.
if you haven't bought any pets or toys or...
Wait, but also, when the game comes out, a next expansion, you have to buy the expansion. So
yeah, so that's like 50 quid or whatever.
That's like 40 quid every time. And how many expansions? There's
7 expansions. There's 7 expansions.
There's a lot.
Is the subscription model out of date? Like, how are they justifying the subscription model now?
I don't...
Like, look at Fortnite. Like, they can't say, Fortnite's completely free, and the amount of updates and content like they're just releasing for free, and it's got huge player counts, so they can't say server costs. How are they, like, compared to games like, as I say, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Minecraft, how can they justify the paying for subscriptions and the expansion? Like,
yeah,
I could.
I'm trying to think of another game.
I reckon I could justify it from their point of view.
Okay.
There's 119 million players. That's how they can justify it.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like I understand why they're doing it, but I feel like they can only get away with it because they used to do it. But I feel like if they came out now, no one would pay. They'd be like, that's ridiculous. Why? What am I paying you this for?
I feel like they justified, like you said, justified it back then because it was the game. Like if you thought of an MMO, it's WoW every single time. Everyone was on it, and like you said, their peak players was like a disgusting amount of a number, which probably made them like the richest games company or whatever.
I think it's 12 million was their peak active subscribers.
And it's nowhere near that now. It's nowhere near that, and I don't think it'll ever beat that again.
No,
but I don't know. There's a lot of. I'm trying to think of other MMOs. New World, which was produced by Amazon, which just came out like maybe a year ago. I'm pretty sure they don't have a subscription, but you buy the game like like any normal game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. Maybe they can't justify it, but I feel like I've just been... Don't say this, because now it's running through my head. Why am I paying?
Also, I did some research. I've done so much research because I was really worried about being underprepared.
I love it.
But in December last year, they peaked at 7 million concurrent players. But for some reason, it was in December. Maybe there was an expansion pack came out or something. I couldn't find anything. But
that was the expansion. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, when I looked at the last 5 years, it way jumped up. Then I'm assuming expansion pack plus pandemic. People were probably like, okay, let's
what about Final Fantasy 14, Ollie? Does that have an expansion?
Expansion?
Oh, not an expansion, a subscription.
You pay monthly for that. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably the second. And then there's what's the Elder Scrolls Online? And
you pay for that as well.
Oh, do you pay for that?
I think so. Yeah, and Fallout, you do as well, don't you?
Oh, Fallout 76 I think is free, but that's not really an MMO because it's like. I think there's like only like 10 players per server or something. It's
that's not the game's fault. That's the player's fault. That is.
Yeah,
no, there's just 10 players.
It's not massively multiplayer. It's just multiplayer.
Yeah. That's I don't know. Are they similar prices? The other games?
Final Fantasy is £7 a month. I think. I don't know about the other ones.
So it's kind of similar.
Yeah.
I honestly. I don't know how they're getting away with justifying it. Maybe just because they're such big games. Like they are, like you've been in the world and you discovered 2%, maybe a couple of percent of the world compared to what they've built over the years and years. I don't know how. Yeah, also, I'm not sure.
I think it might be a thing of like a lot of people that play Blizzard games only play Blizzard games. So like this might be the only game they play. So they're like, £10 a month to.
True. And if you're investing that much time into an MMO, which a lot of people do, they invest all their gaming time into an MMO. I guess they don't care about paying £8 a month or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a strange one.
Yeah. Had you played any of the old Warcraft games?
Hadn't played any of them. I still haven't played any of them. I don't know if RTS is my type of game.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Have you played them?
Yeah. I played. So I played 1 and 2 back in the day. That was my.
That was your thing.
Yeah, I didn't have any gamers in my family, so it was just me. Computer all to myself.
Nice.
I'd set a timer and just leave it running just to mark how long I got to play for and just be happy about it. So I played them back in the day, and then Ollie played Warcraft 2 for the podcast recently. Yeah. And then you played Warcraft 3 as well a bit back in the day.
I did, but I only did like custom maps because I was so rubbish at it. But when we did Warcraft 2 for the show, I think me and Joe both found out that maybe we could be RTS people.
Yeah.
Really?
It's really fun.
It's really good.
Really? I saw that they brought out Warcraft 3 again, didn't they?
Yeah, Reforged.
Warcraft 3 Reforged, and I think it's their biggest flop to date of a game.
Well, they butchered the release. It wasn't just because people don't like Warcraft 3. Apparently it was all buggy and there was all problems with it and stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah. I do need to play one of them, though. I don't know if I've ever been into RTS, because this might be a random guess, isn't Halo Wars RTS?
It is, yeah.
That's an RTS game. And my friend used to be obsessed with that. He was playing it all the time. But I've never played an RTS myself, so maybe I jump back in and
I think
play
I'd
one.
only played Warcraft, and then a game called Myst, which was made by Bungie, was like a fantasy RTS, which is like an early 3D game. So I'm sure it looks pretty awful now, but I remember playing that on my Mac back in the day.
I love that.
I think
love it.
Reforged is the one if you want to play, because the main problem with it was that the mod support for 3 didn't carry over to Reforged, but if you're playing for the first time, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah,
and it has 7
and Reforged
campaigns,
was the one.
So,
7.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just mad.
Yeah, I might have to take a dip into RTS.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be my type of game, but I might have to. Yeah.
So what's your if you're loading up now, so say an expansion's come out and it's been out for a week, and you're I'm going to jump on and play WoW. This might sound like a really stupid question, but what are you doing in the game? So you load up, you join in the world, I assume you're with a group of people?
Well, it depends what friends are playing at that point.
Well, let's say for this you're by yourself and you're playing through. So our experience was we would look at the map and see an exclamation mark. We'd go to it and they'd say kill 5 lizards and bring me their tongues, and I'd go do that, and then I'd come back and then I'd press complete quest. And then I'd look for the next exclamation mark. Once you're further into the game and doing these expansions, is that still what you're doing, or is there something more?
I feel like every expansion that comes out comes with a main storyline.
Yeah.
So you get called. So say you've just logged on, the expansion's just released. You get called. You get a quest that just pops up and it says, get this to go to the new area that is Dragonflight or whatever, and you're like, okay, I need to go along, and that's where the main overarching storyline begins, and then you're moving through the new areas with the quests, which kind of has the main storyline right in the middle, but is surrounded by other little get lizard tongues and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you're moving through the areas with the main storyline, and it kind of as the year goes on, as Dragonflight is up and it's running, and the year goes on, they release it in patches. So they'll be this is part 1 of Dragonflight that's out. And then mid-year, they'll bring out a new content to add to it. This is part 2, and the storyline continues. So throughout the year, the storyline continues, and you just get to do new bits. That's how they drag people back into their game. They're you want to see the next part of the story? We've just released all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Go see it.
Of course, they wouldn't release it all at once, so you can blast through it and then your subscription.
Yeah.
Of course, they're gonna drip feed it.
Yeah. They're we'll make use of your £9. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
So are you deep into the story then? Is that the draw? Is that the main? Is it the story or is it the progression?
For me, it's just always. For me, it's the progression. I love just I'm the opposite to you. I love leveling and getting loot and the best loot and wearing the best stuff and going and doing raids and getting the best gear. Do you know what I mean? I love doing that type of stuff. So it's complete opposite to you.
Yeah,
but
I think most people are on your side. You're the obvious boring option.
No, stop!
I'm joking.
But I feel the storyline for me is in the back, but I know for a lot of people it is it's the main thing that wants them to come back to Warcraft. They want to create a good story, because I keep going to it. Back in the day, they had such good storylines and such good characters that in the past now that they can't bring back, but they were so good that they need to create new ones. So and they're not very good at doing it at the moment, creating good story types that people can relate to and whatnot. So for me, it's always been progression, but I can see both sides.
So if you go up to, so it's a side quest, not a main quest. You go to the objective marker, and it comes up with all of the information. Are you reading all their dialogue, or just the little summary of your objective for what you need to do?
I get 5 lizard tongues, accept, they're done, sweet, amazing, incredible. Sometimes I don't even read it. I just go accept, go on map,
and then
5 lizard tongues there, amazing. Go to that spot over there, incredible. I don't think I've met anyone that reads the whole quest. You guys didn't read the whole quest, right?
I was going to ask about you, Ollie.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely not.
I'm glad.
But I also,
I'm glad.
the last expansion pack that came out was the first time they've invented a character for this. Like previously, it was all ones from the RTS, and they were kind of retelling those stories from the RTS games. And then the newest one, they had to make a character for, because they've already done like time travel, and they've done alternate realities to like keep getting.
They've done so much.
These characters to come back, like reasons to find them to come back. But now they're like, now we got to move on.
a big problem with like the WoW community is, as like you said, Azeroth. That's the main world. Like the main world is Azeroth, and all these expansions, they go off to other places. So they'll be like, there was an expansion called Mr. Pandaria where the pandas came in. You might have saw them, and it was a new place called Pandaria, and not Azeroth, Pandaria. And then there was another place that was basically every expansion brings a new place, and everyone was like, please, 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 just come back to the core of the game, just and make an expansion that's based in Azeroth. And they were like, yeah, cool, amazing, it sounds great. And then they dropped Dragonflight, and it's not in it, and everyone's like, what are you doing?
So how are you saying you don't want new environments? Because how can they just like, do you want them to expand the edges? What do you want them to do?
I feel like people just want them to relate back to the main world, because as soon as an expansion comes out, you don't visit Azeroth again. Like, there's no point coming back to it. The core of the game, there's no point coming back, where they're just creating these new these new areas and stuff, and just shipping you off of the main core game, like the area that people love, and they just kind of disregard it at points. So yeah,
Does that also mean that the characters that you play with in Azeroth, when you move on, they don't come with you, like the NPCs?
I feel like what they do with systems and stuff, I feel like a lot of the characters and stuff, they just leave them behind, and they're just like new, like you said, they just invent new characters and new stuff. But there is some core characters in the game that have gone through so many expansions and whatnot, which is good. But yeah, still waiting for good characters. Still waiting.
Also, the story part that I did, which is about the woman who she turned her back on her town to like save her fleet of ships or something. It was very much like Halo Infinite, where the story's happening and you're just kind of watching it.
Yeah,
and it's like,
you're not really part of it. I think it is.
Yeah.
The Proudmoore family. Yeah,
that was a cool.
So Jaina Proudmoore.
That was a great
Jaina
cutscene,
Proudmoore. She's been in it since. Jaina Proudmoore's in the RTS games. I think
should be.
I think
they should be. All the characters are. I think.
Yeah, and she's been throughout the whole of WoW. Jaina's like a main character. She's been throughout the whole thing. So yeah, that's an example of like characters just sailing all the way through. Even when they put new expansions and stuff, they always go all the way through. But yeah, like you said, good cutscenes as well. I feel like Blizzard's always been known for unbelievable cinematics and cutscenes. I feel like they were one of the first companies in the kind of like area that did cinematics like that and blew everyone away, and everyone was like, oh, we need to step up now. Holy moly. Yeah.
Do you know, do they do it all in-house still? I don't know if either of you know that, or do they?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wonder if they license them out to anyone.
No, I'm pretty sure they. I'd be surprised if they took them out. I feel like it's such a big place now.
Yeah,
such a big company that they've definitely just got
the team
their own
just working on them, because they did obviously like my first like modern Blizzard game was like Overwatch, and then obviously that's got all of the amazing. Well, none of it's really in game, but they make great YouTube videos about all the characters that I love watching.
Overwatch, that's a banger.
I've just looked it up, and they do them in house.
Okay.
They do their own cutscenes.
Crazy.
They don't ship them out.
That's cool. That's
and
awesome.
Literally this week they just taken on. There was a game called Spellbreak. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah,
it's a battle royale.
Yeah,
Spellbreak. Basically, WoW, the like Blizzard, and then just the WoW section of the company, they've literally just taken 100. I think it's 100 employees from Spellbreak to work on WoW this year. So they're always expanding. Well, they're leading up to the new expansion and trying to create hype. Like, yeah, we're employing more people and stuff like that. We're making it better, I promise. But we'll have to wait and see. They're making good changes, which is good.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with Microsoft when Microsoft ends up owning them.
Yeah,
I feel like they'll say, you know what, the WoW subscription stays, but if you got Game Pass, that will be included. That's what I reckon they'll do.
That'll be insane. I I don't even know the scale of that. That's like really insane if they do that. I don't know.
I think they would if you look at what they've done, like where they've partnered with Riot for like League of Legends and stuff. And if you have Game Pass, you unlock every character. Like I feel like it isn't too much of a leap.
They might give you every expansion pack, but you got to pay for the sub.
That's I feel like that might be a good one as well.
I feel like if Phil Spencer gets his way, he just wants it in Game Pass. Like he just seems that's all he wants.
He does.
That's the only number he cares about is the Game Pass subscribers. He's like everything else could get pushed down.
Isn't it crazy as well? I don't know what number it's at, like how many people have Game Pass, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty mental, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember hearing the other day, I can't remember what the number was, but they announced how many people have Game Pass that don't have an Xbox, and it's like huge. And like, or even a PC. People that just stream as well, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
We finish with our bi-weekly Game Pass ad read at this point. We literally talk about it every episode.
It's because half the games we do are on Game Pass, so it just seems like a Game Pass advert.
Yeah.
There's a PlayStation one now, guys. Come on. We can't leave that out. There's a PlayStation Pass. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. Premium plus premium.
They haven't even put their own games on it.
And I thought... Yeah, I did look at it and I was actually excited for it to come out and I was like, amazing. And then I looked at it and I was like, they got a couple of good games on here, but nothing that's screaming at me that I was like, wow, like that's on here. Like,
I'll be honest, I was genuinely glad it wasn't that good because I was like, oh, good, I don't need to do another subscription. It's like, oh, good, I don't feel compelled to start it.
Jimmy, you will be saying, wow, that's on here when you load up Game Pass at the end of the year.
There is. Imagine. I actually can't. I personally don't think it'll go on there. I don't. I'm pledging it now. I don't think WoW will be on the Game Pass.
I don't know.
I don't think it'll happen.
I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet.
I just don't. I don't think. I don't know what the bet is, Stamps, but I don't think it'll be on there.
Next time when we find out, next time we meet up afterwards, the other person will buy the other one's dinner. How about that?
Okay, cool, sweet.
We got
KFC, yeah.
Ollie, you haven't expressed really any opinions yet about the game.
My main issue is that I don't feel like we really played the game properly.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of struggling to think even where it's going to go on the list or anything because like I can see that it's a lot better than what we saw, but like. What we saw is what we saw.
But I mean, how many hours do you think you played for?
Probably about 16.
So 16 hours. That's like,
that's a full game.
That's not. Exactly. That's a lengthy game. You've more than dipped your toe in. You've at least got up to your ankle. From what you played, how much did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed the world and the characters. I loved seeing the Warcraft characters again and the music and everything. But like, there's only so many times I can collect 50 stingers. Do you know what I mean? Like, every mission we were doing was like, we did one or we probably both. I'm talking for both of us. I think we both did about the same thing. One or two slightly different ones, but they're mostly like, collect 8 quills. Can you? Or be like, oh, I'm starving. Help me! I'm starving on the beach. I'm dying. And then like you go and speak to him, and he's like, I need 8 cuts of meat. And it's like it's the same thing again. Like.
Yeah,
and the combat being like, you don't really have a lot of control over it. Like you kind of just stand there and outstat them, and it's up to you to manage when you're using your spells or whatever. But like all the times where I was trying to jump out of the way, I was still getting hit. I was just getting hit a second later. So it was a bit like, I mean, there's absolutely no way I could play through all the expansion or anything like that. Like I'm not going to continue my subscription after this. Yeah, and also this time. We actually cheated a bit this time with me and Joe because normally we don't talk.
What?
But we accidentally were standing face to face over a fire pit in the game.
We were playing.
Nice.
We were playing at the same time,
coincidentally,
and we messaged each other and said like, "Oh, we should try out multiplayer." We were standing right next to each other.
Kai sent me a picture, and in the picture, I'm standing there. And Kai was like, "Yeah, I'm here," and I was literally like, "Oh my god!"
In the same place, same server.
In the same campsite, standing there looking at each other. So I was like, okay, we got to give it a go.
So when we partied up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but then we couldn't really make heads or tails of that. So, and what ended up happening was that I was getting more confused about my missions because I was like trying to follow what Joe was doing and what I was doing.
Yeah. Because if you haven't both done the same mission, because like, say if it's like, oh, go kill 5 dogs, and like, say I've killed 5 dogs, and then I talk to the guy that wants me to kill brutal. 5 dogs. Yeah. But it's like, even if I've done it, because I accepted the quest, it doesn't count. Like I feel like the way the world's an MMO, for what I enjoy out of a game, hurts it because I feel like I'm having no impact because, like, I came up with an analogy. is, when you see like a trailer for like a theme park, like a Harry Potter land, and they show a trailer of someone stepping up with like their wand, and it's interactive. If you press this happens. It looks amazing. And then when you go there, there's like a queue of 5 people all waiting just to do the same thing. That's what it felt like. It'd be like, you got to go kill this dangerous boss. And I go down there, I'm like, oh, well, they've almost killed it. I'll wait for them to finish, and then we'll start trying to kill it. Like it's the fact that there's so many people and we're all just doing the same thing makes everything just feel like it matters not at all, apart from I've tick the box to complete the quest. I have no engagement or like feeling of stakes for any of the thing I'm doing because of the actions. It's just for the loot I'm gonna get or the money or whatever.
I feel like
go on,
you don't like other people being in your game.
I'm fine with multiplayer experiences, but like I feel like it doesn't match like the gameplay side of it. I just feel like it's like if there's like a character that's like, I want you to go and do this thing, and I go up there and I can just see there's 5 other people, I'm like, I can just tell her doing the exact same thing. I'm like, wait, so has that person gone and told 5 people to do this? So like it just doesn't line up, the story, like the world and story, and then in what you're doing. And like I get it, it's a video game, like I can suspend my disbelief to a certain amount, but in doing so, it makes me not care about the story or the task.
What you're actually doing.
Yeah.
I think it all comes back to the progression, though. Like, you're doing it for your own progression, but because you don't like your progression.
Yeah. I'm not saying this as a criticism. Like, I'm not saying, it should be a single-player game. Obviously not. Like, obviously they, they're doing it like the way it should be, and that's what's hugely popular. But I just couldn't get on board with it. And then like things like, I had one mission where I had to take a selfie in front of a waterfall. And so
cute, nice.
And I went to do it, but there was this giant beast there that was like really strong, and I had to really struggle to kill it, and it was really chasing me away, and I was like running backwards with my little gun shooting at it, and I finally killed it. I was like, oh good, I can go take that selfie. And then because I'd taken too long, I went back and it respawned, and I was like,
yeah, they respawn pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm like, man, like I wish like I'd killed it and it's just dead forever now, and like that's the thing I did.
The other thing I had, which is not the game's fault at all, but the fact that I wasn't buying a sub, was like I always had it in my mind that when I hit 20, I'm going to stop. So I'd be like, they'd be like, oh, do you want to come get this like new weapon? And I'd be like, not really. Like this one's kind of doing me. And I'm level 18 now. It's like probably coast to level 20 at this point. But that said, if Blizzard were like, we're doing World of Warcraft 2, or we're doing another game set in the Warcraft universe, and it's starting from scratch, I would definitely play it.
I think that's what everyone is waiting for. Yeah. Because it's gone on too long now. There's literally, I don't know how you guys, so I'm guessing you guys, when you played, you got to level 10.
20.
Did you got to, did you do the start where you were on that little island, basically? You were on like a little island. Yeah. It's called like Exiled Reach or something.
You're on a boat, then you land like on like kind of on the beach. And then there's just
it's called like Exiled Reach.
Yeah.
And then you leave it at like level 10 and you go to Stormwind.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, the dock area like that.
Yeah,
town.
and then it I'm guessing it sent you both to the Jaina Proudmoore thing. Which is I'm pretty sure that World of Warcraft is Battle for Azeroth, which is not this one, not Shadowlands, which is still out, but it's the previous expansion. So basically what they did is, because they have so many expansions and so many storylines, they basically said, look, when you get to level 10, you can either do 10 to 50, 0 to 50 or 10 to 50 in Azeroth, the original game they created. You can either do the quests and level up it that way, or when you get to level 10, you can go to this little gnome called Chromie that sits in Stormwind, and you click her, and you basically choose which expansion you'd like to level through from 10 to 50.
Yes.
So they did it quite well, because before Shadowlands, you were still having to go from level 0 to 120. You were having to do that. Right. And that was too many levels at that point. So they've done that now. So you click her, you choose what expansion you want to level through, and as soon as you hit 50, you go and do Shadowlands, which is the current expansion, which I think people liked. But at the same time, there's just too much. Make Warcraft 2 now, please.
Yeah, and as a newcomer,
like,
they don't really explain that. Like I was constantly on like, am I going to the right place? Am I like underleveled for this? Like what is like I just constantly, it never really explained any of the setup to me for like how the game works.
That's why I when you guys were, jumping in and whatnot, new players, haven't played the game before, I'm always like, it kind of frustrates me because like I've had the joy of knowing everything, played it early, I know what's gone on, I know everything. But as well, WoW always they always try to accommodate new players. So that's why they did the Exiled Reach, the thing you did right at the start. They were like, we need a place where people know how to play, they get into the game, and then when they hit 10, they get shipped off to the actual place. And that's what they did and stuff. But you're still, when you're a new player, you're still like, what is this? What is going on? Like, do you know what I mean? It's so, the world is so big and so vast, and that you didn't even know that there was 7 other expansions that you could have gone and played. Like, do you know what I mean? So, it's a bit of a mess.
Is that quest line that's like, go and speak to this person and walk through the rift and choose which storyline?
That's it. Yes, that is it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was one that I put off because I was like, discovered it at like level 18 or something, and I was like, I'm too close to 20 to do anything massive.
Yeah, you're too close to 20.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a mess at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I enjoyed my time playing it, like, because of kind of the stuff I said, but I was like, the world itself, like, actually the time I probably had the most fun when I was forget the quest. I'm just going to walk around and explore this town and just look at it. And there's so much like energy, and like the animations are so good and the art is so good. Like that was probably where I had the most fun, was kind of role playing a bit, just walking around and looking at things. Just
looking at the worlds that they created. Yeah. I don't even think at level 10 did you be able to do like dungeon finder and stuff, like go in dungeons?
Yeah, but I didn't actually click on it.
Yeah, I saw it on the map.
We unlocked it, but I didn't click on it.
Yeah,
but you could do it in the trial.
Yeah. Oh well, the option was there. I don't know. I never tried it, but the option.
Yeah,
was
maybe there would be a wall or something.
No, I feel like that's new. Like that, you previously couldn't have done that, I don't think. But they added it into the trial and stuff. I feel like just a lot is limited at the trial. Like, they want you to get to 20 and they want you to be like, go on then, buy it. And play on. Like, they want you to do it.
It's just the reality of like the format of the podcast is, we have to start playing a new game next week. We had about, a bit under 2 weeks, which actually worked out pretty nicely for the length of the trial we had anyway. But we were very aware going in that we're only scratching the surface. Before we get to like list territory, was there any like other points you kind of wanted to put forward for the game, or just like fond memories or funny times or anything in your past playing it over the years?
Funny memories. What are my funny memories of World of Warcraft?
Just any like good times.
Not to put you on the spot.
I just think I think for me, even within my family, I've just got so much nostalgia with the game because, like I said, we used to literally time each other of when we used to get off and stuff, and like we used to literally, me and my brother used to share a bedroom, and I'd literally set my alarm before school, like 7 o'clock, get up, sneak downstairs, get on for an hour, like an extra hour in the day, because when we got home from school, I had my extra hour, like I had my hour, so like I got an extra one in,
and then bonus hour.
Sneaky bonus hour in the morning, and like we used to just do that all the time, and it was really good. And I remember there was this one time I think my dad went to bed early, my older brother was out, my middle brother was out, and I played. It was my first like long gaming session. I don't know if you guys ever remember your first like proper like where you just like didn't move forever. Yeah. Like it was like my first proper like long gaming session, and I was like, I've leveled up so many times. I've got so much stuff. I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do this all the time. And then, in the future, I got my own PC and it was great. It was amazing. But yeah, I love the game. And even like when I got my own PC, on Christmas Day, I got my first PC. Me and my brother got the exact same PC on Christmas, and literally my dad had wrapped up he'd wrapped up for me and my brother separate. Do you remember the authenticators to like you press the button and it'll give you a code to log in?
Yes.
I might have had it around here somewhere. It's all online now. It's like on your phone and stuff. But they used to be able to buy little Thoughticate, whatever it's called. And my dad wrapped it up, and I unwrapped it, and I was like, oh my gosh! He was like, I've bought you an account, a subscription. You're
Wow.
get upstairs, Christmas Day, log in.
Your dad sounds like an absolute legend.
Yeah.
He
I've pretty
completely
got a
doing.
train set that Christmas. I was happy. My wooden train.
No, yeah, he is insane. Like he has a deep love for WoW as well. Like he has, like it sounds mental. He has every single character. He has Alliance and Horde. He has every single race and class all max level on either side, Horde and Alliance. Like he loves the game that much.
He's getting his 9 quid's worth, isn't he?
He's getting more than enough. But like him, the biggest fan, he is a bit tired of it now.
Oh, okay.
Just World of Warcraft being World of Warcraft, in the sense of they're on a downward spiral and they're not going up. But hopefully one day they do go back up.
I've also got something that someone commented and I did some research into. That's very interesting, but it's going to be me reading for about 45 seconds, so just bear with me. He's back.
All right.
What's he got?
Ready for the 45 seconds.
Did you just get water?
Yeah, just
typical.
Water. Boring.
Sparkling water? Probably not.
Probably not.
No,
too
not
interesting.
sparkling.
Right, okay.
Sparkling, no. Basic,
Go straight in on it, because I'm going to have to leave that in the podcast, because that's funny now. So we're back.
Okay.
Quick cut.
Right, so Aku over on YouTube, they're on Twitter actually, commented, they'd left 2 tweets about something called the Corrupt Blood Incident. Do either of you know about that?
No.
I'd like to give some knowledge to Jimmy, didn't know about.
I feel like I'm gonna know it as soon as you start talking about
Okay,
it.
I'm going to read the tweets, then I'm going to go into it. I've been looking forward to this episode ever since it was announced. WoW has had such an impact on gaming culture of its player base and with game mechanics, and how every MMO for years were either copying WoW or was supposed to be the WoW killer. And we can't forget the real-life impact it had for sales studies of real-life products and auctions, and the famous Corrupt Blood incident, which gave lots of data on human behaviour for, at the time, theoretical pandemic studies. So what happened in this Corrupt Blood incident is they added a new expansion pack, which, as we know, they love doing. And in the middle of that forest, there's a boss you can fight that will infect you with like a bleed or something. But that, unfortunately, never timed out. And also it could be passed to other players. So what was happening is they were in the fight, you'd all be infecting each other. Oh, that's really annoying. But because of things like fast travel, you would travel to a city and everyone near you would suddenly get... Yeah, so things like the shops. So, the people in the shops were getting it. So like the shopkeepers were becoming super spreaders because they were getting infected. People were trying to suspend animation of their pets and leave their pets at home. So their pets, because they could carry it as well. So they were setting them to do things like
NPCs would get it as well.
NPCs could get it,
everything was getting affected by it.
Can you give us your personal experience, Jimmy? You lived through this.
I actually can't remember it. I'm pretty sure it was a glitch.
Yeah.
And it got patched quite quickly. But I can't remember what expansion that was. Did they say in the tweet or not?
It was in 2007, so that's all I know.
It would have been probably Burning Crusade. I think it is.
But yeah, also people were running to the front lines to heal people, like medics, and then they were becoming super spreaders as well. And then people were going oh, what's happening? Let's log on and have a look, and then getting infected as well. So basically, this guy called Eric Lofgren, who's a disease analyst, he happened to be playing at the time. And then he said, traditionally, when we do computer-based simulations, we know everything about the world. The people in those simulations only act in the way we tell them to act, but here we get a full view of human irrationality. And that helped prepare the world for things like when the pandemic did happen, and they were saying you can't come to the football stadium because you'll get infected, right? They knew that people were going to gather outside the football stadium in protest because that's what happened in Warcraft. So it's almost like a safe environment that they could test.
Well, and that's why I left my dogs in suspended animation, because I just didn't want to risk.
That's why you did it. That's so good. That I actually completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
And that made me remind of other little moments. Was that, by the way, was that the full tweet?
That was the full tweet, and then me going on, yeah.
Okay, cool. You would I'll be shocked if you guys don't know about the classic, the thing that made WoW become a little bit viral is the Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leroy.
We actually had a
Like,
reference
that's
to
just
it
everywhere.
when we were playing. We were saying about it.
Yeah.
You were saying it,
But-
yeah, like, and that helped like boost the game, like moments like that.
Yeah, like ones that
these-
transcended the community.
Yeah.
That Eric Lofgren study and like what he said, I'm basically going to link it in the show notes because like I was reading it and I was like, this is actually amazing that it's come out of a video game like
Was
this. Like,
there a big divide between some people saying that we should all wear helmets and some people saying that we shouldn't wear helmets?
there wasn't, but there was people who were actively trying to spread it as well. So
Yeah.
like the whole scope was there.
Crazy people.
Yeah.
Crazy people.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. That actually reminded me of the other moments, like the Leroy Jenkins, and like I don't know if you've ever seen them. If you haven't, type in like World of Warcraft adverts, and they just used to get just celebrities just to do
Yes.
adverts.
Yes.
So they had Ozzy Osbourne where he's like
Yeah, I've
he's
seen that. Then they got
saying
like a
something, he's like-
digital version of like him as well, don't they? Like the in-game.
Yeah, where he's like, I play WoW, and then it like goes into WoW, and like he's an undead like warlock, and he's like casting stuff. And then they have what's his name? The one who played Mini-Me in Austin Powers, Vernon.
Oh yeah, Troyer.
Vernon Troyer.
Yeah.
And he's like, I play WoW, and I'm a gnome mage, and it like
Yes.
pops into the game, and he's like, and they did all these wicked adverts, and I feel like even back in the day, like that's how they got people. They
Yeah.
haven't done that for a while. Cool things.
Your Ozzy Osbourne impression was pretty questionable then, by the way.
sorry.
He's from Birmingham.
Sorry about that.
But yeah,
Was it basic? Was it basic?
It was
Yeah,
pretty
there
basic.
was.
I do remember those
Yeah,
adverts.
yeah.
They were like, in real life, it's like, in real life, I'm Ozzy Osbourne. But in Warcraft,
There it is.
I'm,
Yeah.
There was just
They
like a
were
white
so good.
background, wasn't it? And then it
Yeah.
would like
Yes.
go in.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the
They
fact
were
that we
good.
didn't play it and we remember them, like it's obviously effective
They
advertising.
did their job, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Sorry, I realised I forgot we haven't really spoke about is have you done any like PvP stuff, Jimmy?
I used to live like back in the day. I used to live on PvP. Like I can't go into the game now, but I've got a lot of you get honorable kills whenever you kill someone in a PvP game, and I'm pretty sure I'm on like near 50,000 kills on it or something like that.
What?
But like it's. Yeah, I just used to binge Battlegrounds. It's called Battlegrounds. You go to random Battleground, you play, you get honor, and if you get honor, you buy PvP gear.
Wow.
I used to play a lot. I used to
So,
play a lot of
explain
Battlegrounds.
this
I
to
do
us
love
because
PvP.
Ollie was kind of chatting about it a bit earlier in terms of like, you have direct control over your character. It's all in real time, but it feels almost much more like a card game, I guess, in terms of you're saying do this spell, and then it will all kind of be done on who you're targeting. You're not aiming or kind of that actively involved. So what's the appeal of PvP? Is it like the choosing all of your like spells and moves, or is it kind of the actual deploying them?
I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's just in any sense of a PvP game or any game, you want to just be better than the person you are fighting. And if you kill them, you're like, I am better than you.
So what
You are. Do you know
is
what I
the
mean?
pride
Like,
being better at? Is it like my character's better,
just
or
being
I
stronger? Yeah,
outplayed
yeah.
you?
Just, I think it's more outplayed. Like you outplayed them. Like in WoW, you have every class and and whatnot. They have abilities that counter the other one.
Yeah.
Every class has a weakness. Every class has a strong bit. Like every class has a stun. It has a dispel. You can dispel curses off you. You can, I don't know. It has big abilities that you can parry and whatnot. So I think it's just that aspect of
So if you go in to you 1v1, you PvP someone, you outplay them, you think you're just a better person if you beat them, right? Because me and Ollie, we had a little PvP battle when we were playing, didn't we?
Oh, we did. Yeah, we did. I got absolutely thrashed.
Wait, I was
Sorry.
about to say, let me
Sorry.
guess who
You
won.
can probably guess
sorry.
from my setup.
To be fair, you were a paladin and he was a hunter.
I was a hunter
right?
gnome. We were the exact
And
same
that-
level,
yeah.
coincidentally, as well.
We were
This
the
was
same level,
the
yeah.
one time we played together.
Yeah.
We were the same level in the same place. I guess that makes sense, I guess.
You had the range though, right? Because you're a
I
hunter.
had
You were
the
just shooting
range.
him away, and he was trying to run at you.
Yeah,
Like,
he
that's
was
exactly
actually
what happened,
saying, I've
yeah.
only got mate, and I got the little move where you can just do the big jump backwards and stuff. So
Yeah.
And also,
yeah.
Joe had like a little something or other that was also attacking me.
Oh,
And, like
pet, yeah,
most
yeah,
of the
it was
game,
like-
it was like I was just anytime more than one enemy attacked me, I was like, I'm just gonna die. So
I don't think I
Yeah.
lost any health. Maybe I lost a tiny bit of health. But
yeah.
in the
then
video
just
podcast, you would have
after
seen
I-
footage.
Just after I played against you, I got a new ability that made a hammer hover over the enemy for like 5 seconds and then it slammed down. And I reckon if I had that,
Yes.
I might have been alright because it homes in. But yeah, Joe whooped me. So
You wouldn't do
I
that
suck.
to my little gnome. Oh, I just thought, Jimmy, have you got any good character names for any of your characters?
I have my main character, which is a night elf warrior, a night elf female warrior.
Yeah.
It's called Kazula. That's my main character, and you're gonna really hate me, Joe, because you don't love football, do you?
I don't hate it. I'm not.
It's basically based off of an Arsenal player.
Right.
I used to play for Arsenal, called Santi Cazorla, and I loved him. And I like the last name. So Cazorla. I'm trying to think of my other
like
ones.
a cash
paladin. Cazorla. It does actually. You guys got Cazorla. Hashtag ad. There's someone who's actually got the ad. They're like, oh my gosh, free promo. Wait,
we got a user. Where did that come from? We're blowing up.
I'm trying to think of other names. I have one called Carzon, which is like I made that character. That's my paladin that I made like when I was like.
That's the old man.
10 or 12.
Yeah, he's the one
man,
going around to your other
Carzon.
character saying it used to be better than this. This used to all be fields and it was lovely
That's
back
him.
then.
That's him. That's
I
him.
can't use
Scaring
these
off all the
modern
new
currencies.
players.
I don't understand. Can you help me? Come here,
him, that's
Cristiano
him.
Ronaldo. Help me out with.
I think I can't remember the other names, but yeah, those are my main ones. Main ones. Yeah. What was your name in the game? What was your names?
You go, Ollie.
Oh, it's just GG Ollie. It's my normal, what I always use.
Nice.
That's what we were joking
yours?
about, the Leroy Jenkins. So for people that don't know the Leroy Jenkins, basically it's like there's a group of people planning this big battle and then someone just sprints in by themselves and just screams Leroy Jenkins' his name and dies. And we were saying Ollie would be doing it, but just shouting GG Ollie as he runs in.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if this ruins it. Did you know that it's fake?
No.
Did you not know?
Everything's
not know.
fake on the internet. Everything. I'm
But
not
not
even
back
real.
then.
Do you know what I mean?
Back
I'm
then
not
we
real.
had integrity.
I know. I reckon. I'm pretty sure it came out probably a few years ago now. The guy came out. He was like, "Yeah, we did it as like we just did it as a bit." Because to give a little bit of context, I'm pretty sure the guy is AFK. Leroy is AFK, and I'm pretty sure he's like getting chicken, and he comes back. He's like, "I finished my chicken. Let's do this, Leroy!" And he runs in, and he runs in, and they're like, "No!" And he wipes the whole raid. But yeah, it came out that it was.
The timing is so good because he runs in like Leroy Jenkins.
It's amazing.
But then there's a gap of just silence, and someone goes like, "Did he just run in?" They're like, "Yeah, he did."
Yeah.
Like, we gotta go off him. Like,
yeah. And then he wipes the whole raid, and it's the perfect clip. You wouldn't think it's like scripted or anything.
Well, if
like
I saw
that.
it now, I
It's
might question
incredible.
it. But back in the day, like people weren't.
What a silly guy!
Yeah, like it's almost like good
Silly guy.
forethought to think about. This could. I mean, I'm sure they didn't think it would go viral, but like it's. Yeah, it was.
He's just
surprising.
a silly little guy. I mean, no one would think
silly
this.
little guy,
No one would
man.
think this show was scripted, but
Yeah. What was your name, Joe?
I was
In the game?
Glinty.
Glinty.
Yeah.
I feel like have you used that before? Where have I heard Glinty from?
No, I spent probably about 20 minutes trying different names, and every has it 18 years this game's been out? Every name is taken. I tried every variation of my name, of my usernames,
Joey,
and that.
I was about to say that. Joe.
yeah, Joey,
Joey.
Joe's.
Joey. Yeah, so in the end, I was just thinking like, okay, well, I want to role play when I play this. Let's kind of think of a name that might fit in the world. And I got quite a cool female little gnome with like a cool like silvery haircut. And I thought Glinty kind of just was a cool name. So
I like
if anyone
that.
wants to buy that username from me, if that's a thing, then
£9, everybody. Subscription fee.
yeah,
£9
you can pay the
to get the
subscription fee
name.
to me to have the name on top of your subscription.
Does it hide the other players' names? Like, because people were in the chat and their name was like Draconian, the like Azeroth hammer bearer, and I was like, "There's no way you'd name yourself that."
No, so that is so when you were it happens across the world. Basically, back in the day, your server was just your server. It was like nothing got past it. So as soon as you went on a server, you were kind of locked in. That, if your friend was playing on another one, you were like, please make a character on my server.
Right,
please.
okay, yeah.
But now, which they did years ago, they kind of like crossed it all. So if you've got someone on Battle.net, which is what WoW runs on the Battle.net stuff, if you've got them as your friend and stuff, and you go in a group together, even if you're on a different realm, you will come together. You will phase into each other's game, and you will play together, even if you're on a different realm. And that's the same with the chat. So if you're in chat and someone's name, whatever you just said, and then it says like Azeroth or Grimbatar or something like that, that's the server they're playing on. So that's not their name. Like the first bit's their name, the second bit is the server that they're playing on. So the chat is kind of like crossed over. But yeah, that was a good thing that WoW did. Like, because at the start it was so locked in, and you had to be like, please play on my server with my friends. Yeah. But then they crossed everything, so you could be literally wherever now. And what they just released, sorry, I'm going off.
No, it's great.
So what they just released, literally, I think it was like a month ago, which everyone's been screaming for. I don't know if on my hand, but I don't know if they did, where basically you can do dungeons now with Horde. Yeah. So Alliance and Horde can do dungeons together, like cross whatever you want to call it. But they used to never be able to do that. You had to do dungeons with just Alliance or dungeons with just Horde because they're against each other.
So how does that normally work? So say if I wasn't like I was an orc, like I was a Horde character, like am I doing completely different quests? Because like most of the quests I'm doing, I'm like helping people. Do they just have like a totally different game?
Yeah, well, they start... So the base... I don't know what it is now, but base World of Warcraft, the Alliance are like on a place called Eastern Kingdoms, and then the Horde are on like a place called Kalimdor or something like that. And basically, it's just wherever each race, whatever you choose, has different starting quests around the world, and then they go into bigger areas where you go into. But there's Horde areas and there's Alliance areas where you quest.
If I was a Horde person and I went to like the town I was in when I was playing, could like they just not? Would everyone be hostile to them?
It depends what area it was.
Okay.
Do you remember what area it was?
I don't remember the name of any place or any character in my time.
Really enjoyed the game.
No, I'm like that with every game, to be fair. And especially like fantasy games. Like I'm...
Yeah. I feel like in the new expansions, you're all in the same area. And if you have PvP, there's PvP servers and there's PvE servers. If you're on a PvP server, you can kill each other. Horde and Alliance can kill each other, like while you're questing. It's the most annoying thing in the world. But back in the day, there's Horde areas and there's Alliance areas. And if you go into the area, like you said, if you run into a town, they'll just kill you. Like you'll just die, like just that way. So yeah.
That's cool.
Went off on a little bit of a tangent, sorry.
No, it's good because this is the stuff that we wouldn't have known how it works. But it actually just sounds quite cool. Like I see how that would be annoying, but like it's also quite like exciting, and it's kind of good that they stick to that. Like, because I feel like they might be like, oh, it'd be annoying if I'm a Horde character and I just can't go in this shop because, you know, they're part of the Alliance. But I'm kind of glad that they do stick to it and do kind of commit to it. No, you're like, why would we serve the baddie rather than ignoring it for gameplay reasons, which they do for a lot of other things.
Yeah, true.
Could you imagine if we did this without Jimmy here?
Yeah, I know.
So you just kill
the podcast would be like 10 minutes, wouldn't it?
Collect some tails, and then you get to level 20 and it just ends.
Yeah.
It just ends crazy.
It's why I wasn't worried, because like, unless, you know, I assumed you played it lost, unless you came on, you're like, oh yeah, I just really got into it recently. Like, what's it about? I don't know. I knew it'd be you teaching us. And so I really, for the final time, I'm going to clarify for any other big World of Warcraft fans, me and Ollie are fully aware that we have not seen enough to appreciate everything that there is, you know, in the game at the moment. And
I feel like the comments are going to either correct me, which I'm sorry if I've said any misinformation, but also I feel like the comments will probably be productive and they'll give you even more information about the game and anything that I've missed.
Yeah, we have
down in the comments, any like core stuff. Like
we have a lovely community, so you're safe.
Bonus point. The bonus point.
Bonus points.
Man.
As long as you love Undertale, they're really nice.
Yeah.
Wait, I think I've played about 30 minutes.
And you loved it. You loved every aspect.
I loved it so much It was incredible.
Yeah, your timer went off and your dad came in. He was like, right, my turn. I'll pick it up from here.
Yeah. He finished the game. I didn't. I don't know what happened. Maybe I'll go back to it though. I don't know. Crazy.
We should get your dad on. He sounds like a right little gamer.
Yeah, we got the wrong one. Why did we get Junior? I want Jimmy Senior.
Jimmy Senior, yeah.
Any more comments or anything, Ollie, before we go to the list?
The only thing I want to mention is that Helen Wells wrote a really well thought out question about MMOs being free or costing, and then we kind of just went into it. But I read it and I appreciate it.
It is a good, It's a good, it's a good argument. It's a really good argument because there's some that's not, and then there's some that is.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how to justify it really.
I think the ones that can justify it is like the ones that are old, long-running series, like Final Fantasy, like Elder Scrolls. I feel like they get away with it, whereas I feel like if a newcomer game came out, they'd be like
New World, like the Amazon one.
Yeah, exactly. A fresh IP. I feel like it's harder to justify it. But I also think you shouldn't be paying a subscription for it nowadays. If you look at what other games are doing.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool.
Okay, right. Well, let's put it on the list. Okay, so we have the list up here. So you've probably seen the list a bit before, Jimmy, because you mentioned you're listened to previous podcasts. Before we dig into the World of Warcraft hole, is there any questions or any kind of comments about the list we have so far?
I have no idea what is number one. I don't think I've heard of that game. Maybe I have.
So Disco Elysium.
I don't know. What is that game?
Go on, Ollie. I don't want to summarize it. It's the most difficult game to summarize.
It's like and
it's at number one.
Oh,
it's
incredible.
Is that good?
It's like life affirming. It's so good.
Wait, I need to just Google it. Give me a second. I just need to see what it looks like.
Look up a screenshot of it to see the art
I'll just
style.
explain it just in case people haven't heard the episode. It's like an isometric RPG where you play as a guy who his brain is like, his personality is like fractured, and you can level up each part of his personality individually, and then based on what you've done is how you make decisions going forward. So if you've made your guy super arrogant, then he'll be like really confident, and if you've made him like super arrogant but his body is really weak, he'll be like really confident but constantly fail, which will then like drop his morale, and like all the different elements of his brain and body kind of work together.
But it's all voiced. So say if you put put all of your points into like logic, then he'll be like, you'll be faced with a problem, and then suddenly logic will start talking to you and go like, I've worked something out, you could try this, and it'll be something that you couldn't have done if you put all of your points into something else.
I like that. That is good.
And
when did it come out?
It's relatively recent, like 2018 maybe, 2019.
2019, that's it.
Yeah, and then they re-released it with all voiceover. There's like a Final Cut version. It's like, it's not for everyone, definitely. It's a lot of, it's basically a dialogue game mainly, with a bit of kind of almost point and click adventure style.
It looks like that
loosely, but it is absolutely incredible, which is why it's on the list.
What else is on it? 2 with Prey. I've always wanted to play Prey, and I've never played it.
Wow.
I've always wanted to play it, and I've never played it.
Okay.
So I need to do that.
Yeah, I'd recommend it, but
on Game
I wouldn't
Pass.
put it at number 2. I wouldn't put it at number 2, but I would recommend it.
Is that controversial?
I had to fight. Yeah, we have an agreement because we're going to be doing Last of Us Part 2 soon.
Yeah.
And Ollie kind of wants Last of Us 1 above Prey anyway, and I've said we're going to have a sit down table discussion about Prey's placement.
Nice.
Then.
Can that be a video? Can you guys
this will be
it's
on
going to be for the podcast. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Last of Us, it should be off the list, like up there.
Should be off the list. Controversial. Get it off the list.
Get it out of here. No. I meant it should be on its own list, where like this is the list, and then this is the list. Do you know what I mean? Like it should be on its different list.
I said the same thing about Disco Elysium. I was like, I just want to put it higher. Every time I think about it, I'm like, it needs to go higher.
Yeah, you should have another list which is like gold plated. It's like that's the list.
Maybe we should decorate like number 1 a little bit nicer.
We could. Yeah,
maybe that's something we could do. Anyway, let's get to World of Warcraft. So we'll start with you, Jimmy. Like, obviously, we can listen to your opinion or disregard it. It's not up to you. But if it was up to you, where would you put it? Would it be above The Last of Us, which is currently at number 3?
it's only going off my opinion, which is not.
That's all this is.
because
That's
you
all we're
guys-
doing.
Yeah, but you guys are doing the final place. I feel like it's not going to get up there.
No, I want to know where you would put it. Where would you put it?
This is just. We're not here.
Oh, I'd put it number 1, 100%. But that's just me, because it's like this game is like my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd put it like very, very close to The Last of Us.
Okay. You would put it above The Last, because I think I can't remember if it was before the podcast or during it. You mentioned you considered doing The Last of Us, but then ended up doing WoW instead.
I feel like WoW and The Last of Us are like my two favorite game experiences. Do you know what I mean? As someone who plays games, I would put it. I put WoW as number 1. WoW has given me too much to not put it at 1. So yeah.
I feel like
that's where I put it.
I have a good childhood memory through you of this game now, just because of how lovely that story was earlier. Like,
me and my brothers.
I have nostalgia for a game I've played for like 2 weeks. Okay, right, now the fluff's out the way, Ollie. This is down to the serious business of where it's actually going to end up going. Can I go first, actually?
Yeah, of course you can.
If it's 18.
If
it's 18.
It's not going to be 18.
I'm really sure. Well, so...
Don't, Glinty, don't do it.
It won't go 18. But I think out of all of the games, I enjoyed playing this game least. I actually enjoyed playing Ty more than it. Like there was aspects of the game where I actively I was just frustrated by the setup of the game. But I at the same time I could see the quality, and I could see how cool the world was, and I understand chatting with your mates and going through these quests, or putting on a podcast in the background and go for I really understand the appeal and see how great it is, whereas with some of the other games down lower I don't. So in terms of when I loaded up to start playing it, it's the game I wanted to play least. It's the game I least look forward to loading up and playing out of all of these games. Not through fault of the game, it just doesn't tick the boxes that the fun boxes for me.
Yeah.
So I think I would probably put it 1 above Max Payne 3, which would put it into slot number 15.
14.
Under Onimusha Warlords is where I would put it personally.
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, over to you, Ollie.
I liked it more than you, definitely. I quite liked playing it, hanging out, running around, having a good time, looking at all the different things. Getting the gear was cool up until I was about level 18. Then I was like, well, I'm so near the end now that there's almost no point. But I would put it probably somewhere between Halo Infinite, which is in 11th, and Zero Ranger, which is 13th. So either 12th or 13th, I think. That's where I would put it.
Okay, so you enjoyed it more than Zero Ranger?
I enjoyed Zero Ranger more, but I can definitely see that if I had played World of Warcraft
that's what I'm struggling with.
I can see how good it is.
If I was reviewing the game, obviously I'd play it more, or trying to recommend it, or just if I'm trying to analyze the quality of the game, it's right near the top of the list. But it just doesn't. That style of gameplay doesn't appeal to me. That's why it's so hard to. But I think I got to go for what I had fun playing rather than how good the game is. Which is why I had more fun playing Onimusha.
I played 100% of Zero Ranger, and I had a pretty good time. I only played about 1% of World of Warcraft, and I had a pretty good time. And based on that, I'm like, there's probably more fun to be had in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I do.
And it's on me that I didn't buy the full game.
Exactly. And I do reckon if I was with a squad of people and I was doing a proper raid, which was challenging, and we're working together, and I'm like, right, you be a tank and you go ahead, I'll heal you, and then you do, your DPS. I think that maybe at that point I would enjoy it, but I just didn't see that, so I just can't. I can't put in where I think the combat would feel more active, whereas on this, I felt like I was either just destroying everything or underleveled and getting destroyed by it. I never really found that sweet spot.
Yeah.
What about you ever played Diablo?
Me?
Sorry, Joe. Sorry.
Yeah, I played. Was it 3? What's the one that came on PS4? Is that 3?
Yeah, it's Diablo.
I played that with a friend at their house, so for probably 3 hours or something.
That's kind of what I imagine World of Warcraft would be like if you played it properly with a group of people.
Yeah.
Because I really like Diablo.
very
And
good
I think
game.
I probably would. I mean, I don't know if I can stomach 10 quid a month, but I think I would probably enjoy World of Warcraft if I played more of it. But
Yeah.
I'm not willing to spend the 10 quid a month. If it was like 40 quid and you're done, I probably would buy it and carry on. But,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sticking where I am. Joe, it's up to you if you want to move it.
No,
Or
you
Jimmy,
know
if you've
what?
got anything you want to
I
add in.
think so. So at the moment, for those listening to the audio version, it's one under Ratchet and Clank, and then one above Zero Ranger, which will put it at the 13th position. Like I enjoyed Zero Ranger and Onimusha more, but I'm fine at being higher just because I can see how good it is. Like I can, and I feel like we don't have set rules for how we're doing this list. It's not just down. We're not trying to be objective and recommend it to people.
Yeah.
It's our personal opinions, but I can just see how quality and the scale of the game, like zooming out on the map and being like, oh, I've only been to these islands in this region of this bigger region of, forgetting any expansions. Like, I think it's an impressive, incredible, influential game. And I think that does have a bit of weight. And I know it's still at 13 of 18 of the list. It's still on the lower end, but I think I think that's fair enough from what we've said, Jimmy. Do you reckon?
Yeah. I can. Do you know what? I'm always going to have my personal opinion of where it should be on this list.
Yeah.
And it being below Ratchet and Clank does kill me a little bit. But
Jimmy
do you know,
hates
I love Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, he hates it. Oh, that stupid little
absolutely
robot.
love it. I love it. It's such a good game. It's amazing. But yeah, I'm happy with that. That's good. I'm just glad it's not 18th. I'm glad it's not 18th.
Yeah, you have to ask Tom about that. Tom got 17.
Yeah, Tom. Wait. Tom came on. Ty is a banger, by the way. That's a great game. But you didn't think it was a good game?
He got 17th, mate. It was the bottom of the list.
No, but I mean in the sense of like, did you put it like in 18th when Tom was here?
Yeah.
Yes.
You put it in last.
Yeah.
Yes. And what was his fighting cause to make it go up? Or was he by the end of it like, yeah, it
no,
wasn't
do you know
good,
what
sorry.
his strongest argument was that it brought culture into our lives.
No, it didn't. No. Tom.
So
I did think, to be fair, I haven't been back to Ty. You guys when you did that episode, you would have played it.
And so did Tom.
I'm just speaking off of...
And Tom played it, and I think he realized everything. Like, he had only the nostalgia. He hadn't played it since he was a kid, and he played it again, and you could see he was conflicted because he knew it's not, even of like platformers of the day, it was still a bad one, let alone how it's aged. And I think he knew, but he had such fond memories for it, and he wanted to hype it up. But in the end,
you killed his nostalgia.
Yeah,
did you?
we have
pretty much. Yeah, because he even said at one point like, "Oh, I know I'm fighting a losing battle," and I was like, "Mate, just give in.
Just give in. It's 18th, mate. Give in."
Made a great podcast, though.
Man.
It did,
but as far as a bit
I'm
worried
glad.
because I feel like obviously when we pick the games when it's just us, and me and Ollie are generally pretty similar for what we like.
Yeah.
And with guests, it's a wild card. We have no idea what people are going to select. And I always get scared that people are bringing in their games and we're just going to like bash their games for an hour. Their favorite games. But it's not been that. Like I think that this has been great. Like I've learned more about World of Warcraft in this last hour than I knew before we started this.
Even playing it, you
Yeah.
learn more here than playing the game.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah. No, it's been good. It's been wicked. I'm glad that you guys have had your own little experience with it. And it's placed 13th.
That's
So
not
what
bad.
more can I
I think
ask
when there's
for?
100 games on here, that could still be around 13, 14.
Yeah, unlikely.
I'm going to tune
but
in.
yeah.
It's going to be 100, isn't it? It's going to be dead last. Dead last.
Ollie, do you want to read out kind of maybe just like the area that it's in, just for people listening?
So I'll just do 10 downwards. 10 is Warcraft, 11's Halo Infinite, 12 is Ratchet and Clank, 13's World of Warcraft, 14 Zero Ranger, and 15 is Onimusha.
To clarify, 10 was Warcraft 2. 10
was Warcraft 2. In the show notes, I'll put the whole list so you can see where it was before. No, what the list was like before we added it. So.
Yeah, and then video podcast people, you can to glance up on the screen now. There it is.
Just open your eyes. It's right there.
Thank you so much for joining us, Jimmy. Is there anything like cool that you're working on? You want to shout out your YouTube channel? Anything you want people to check out if they've enjoyed listening to you?
I'm just on YouTube, Solidarity. Type it in. I'm there.
There'll be a link in the description on everything to your channel.
We're doing a little Minecraft SMP called Empires SMP. If you do want to check it out, just a load of us playing.
Who's that with?
Playing Minecraft. It's with LD Shadow Lady, Smallish Beans, Smager, a a lot more people, a load of people.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they're less
go check it
important
out.
though.
Yeah, less important. If I didn't read your name, you're less important. Sorry about that.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, Jimmy.
It's been an absolute
Yeah,
pleasure.
thanks so
Absolute
much.
pleasure.
No, this has been
It's
a
on the
blast.
bucket list. It was on the bucket list. Tick it off now.
And thank you, Ollie, for all of your research and for playing some Warcraft with me and helping me with some quests.
Getting destroyed as well in PvP. Something
Yeah.
for you to brag about. You had to find something, but you did.
I needed an excuse to find a reason to put the footage in, so I had to bring. I always forgot about it, but I had to bring it up. Any comments that you have about World of Warcraft or anything, obviously down below. Plenty more games coming up. Ollie, do you kind of have them at hand?
You're going to ask me. Yeah, I do have them. 1 second. Are we going... Okay, so next time is Killer 7, which is, we've said this multiple times, it's super R-rated, 18 plus. If you watch this with your family, probably skip that one. Then after that we have Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, I think it's called.
That's it.
And then Last of Us 2. Are we going to reveal any more?
Maybe we'll leave up to there.
Reveal.
We'll reveal one more for Jimmy, maybe. Just to get...
Okay. You mean after we stop recording or now?
No, you can reveal it now. And then we'll commit to
so-
one.
Please.
After Last of Us 2, we're doing the Beginner's Guide, which is...
Don't know.
you know the Stanley Parable? You ever heard of that game?
Yes. Yeah.
They made another game called the Beginner's Guide, and we're doing
Amazing.
that. So because we both played the
Nice.
Stanley Parable, so it's a bit like
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's a
hadn't heard
good
of
game,
it,
though.
heard
That's
of
a
it
great
either.
game.
So, but yeah, if you wanted to play any of those games before we do the podcast, so you don't need to worry about spoilers or anything, you have plenty of warning to do so, as long as you haven't found this video a year after it was uploaded, and none of this means anything to you. But that's the end of it here. Thank you all so much for watching or listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.
Cheers, bye.